Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at Home Depot out in North McKinney, Texas. As always, please make sure you're hitting the like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That is the fastest way to get in touch with me directly. If you have any questions about plants, plant care, or just want to connect with me, follow me on Instagram. So this morning, I decided to go to the Home Depot way up north in North McKinney, Texas, just to see if I could find that elusive Anthurium Doc Block that was released by Proven Winner. So we'll see what that looks like, but I will also just take you on a big box store plant shopping spree. You can see right here that a lot of these big box stores are now getting some holiday plants for Christmas and just the holidays in general. We've got some poinsettas right over here. Let's take a look at this one right here, how much it costs. This one is only for $4.98. Now, I will tell you, as far as poinsettas this year, I want to go and find me a poinsettia, like a pink one that's highly variegated. I think that would be fun to just keep as a long-term plant. Now, as far as the plant care tips for poinsettas, I do know that they need to be consistently watered. Bright indirect light is what you want to give poinsettas. And it's interesting because a lot of poinsettas are really just grown as a seasonal holiday plant. Like this one right here is a nice pink one, and notice how it has a little bit of that sport variegation. Let's take a look at that right here. And the colors of the poinsettia are actually the leaves. The blooms are actually just very tiny. And then you can see right here, Proven Winners H2O Leaf Joy bowls. These are for $19.99, and these are all hydroponic. So basically you are growing the plant in straight water. You can see right here the Macaulay's Finale Philodendron. And again, I want to see if the Dallas area has received the Proven Winners Doc Block Anthuriums. We've been seeing a lot of that actually out, I think, in New Jersey and out on the West Coast. But we will see if the DFW market has the anthuriums available. If you haven't already and you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you want to stay up to date about some of these new plant releases, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel with all the notification bell on. Make sure that it's not for personalized notifications. Definitely click notification bell on for all notifications, just in case I do upload a video or I do find these Proven Winner Anthuriums by Doc Block. So we're going to see what that looks like. But right now I am going to show you some of these Leaf Joy H2O bowls. You can see we've got some pothos plants here. And to be honest, I don't really want to spend $19.99 on a pothos plant that's in water, just because I feel like I could create that myself. It is an interesting concept, but I do find that the Leaf Joy series, the H2O bowls, are a little bit pricey. You can also see they've got Leaf Joy Littles by Proven Winners. That one is a trade Scanthia feeling flirty. And then we also have a spider plant right over here. Now these are all for $5.98. I do think that these are good starter plants, and you can see right here. Now I do find this attractive, and this one is for $29.99. This is a Monstera Deliciosa in a Leaf Joy H2O bowl. I think it's a cute concept. I think it's a concept that if you don't have like a really nice bowl like this, you can buy one. Although if you go to Home Depot, sometimes they will actually put those on sale. Now over here we do have a bunch of Christmas cactus. So around this time of the year, obviously in November, December, you will find Thanksgiving cactus and Christmas cactus. Honestly, these could be Thanksgiving cactus, just because these cactus are starting to bloom around that same range. I mean, I just can't believe that Thanksgiving and Black Friday is literally going to be 2 weeks from now. It's going to be crazy with all of the deals and sales that you're going to see a lot of retailers put out, and hopefully some of our plant nurseries and big box stores will also put some nice deals. I always like looking at this, and the reason why I like looking at these Kalanchoe, I do like the bowl. It's the planter it's in. in, just because there's so many varieties of flowering kalanchoe. It is a succulent, and I didn't realize that it was a succulent plant until recently. And then you can see right here, this is a crown of thorns. I love that as well. And I love the fact that it has that pink bloom around it. This was only for $7.98, which I really think is a good plant buy. I ended up finding one of these blooming anthuriums as well. It's not the Doc Block Michelle anthuriums we're seeing, but we're gonna see if we have this available. Again, plant foldies. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. I can't guarantee that. I just really took I guess just a adventure to see if we can find these proven winners plants. Sometimes whenever you go to a big box store, you may actually be surprised about a plant release. A lot of times social media will actually post it. You'll find it on other social media platforms. But sometimes, like when I went to Lowe's, where I wasn't really expecting to find another Neon Enjoy pothos, I was able to find it. So we're just going to take a look at this Home Depot. I will say that this Home Depot has a phenomenal display of different types of Christmas trees. It is about to be the second week of November, and all I can tell you is look at how gorgeous these Christmas trees are. A lot of people are actually putting their Christmas trees up even before Thanksgiving. You can see a lot of retailers actually putting a lot of these Christmas trees on 50% off, and we'll just see how all of that pans around. I am curious to see what plant nurseries are going to have some really good Black Friday deals, if any. But one thing is for sure, I definitely want to try to find those anthuriums. I can't believe that Doc Block Anthuriums are being sold at a big box store. So we'll see. As you can see right here, they do have a table of some houseplants. And on top of just looking for the Doc Block Anthuriums at Home Depot, I do want to highlight a lot of the seasonal plants, like all of the Christmas trees that they have, the live Christmas trees. And this one right here is actually a really nice new alocasia release right here by Proven Winners. Let's take a look at the plant ID. There you go right here. Mystic Blackout Alocasia. I love the black stems. That's another alocasia that I wouldn't mind adding to my plant collection. And the thing about it is, Proven Winners is typically known for the outdoor gardening plants, but I'm so glad that Proven Winners has really delved into the indoor tropical plants, indoor house plants. They have a range of philodendron and uncommon plants, and I appreciate it. I do think that some of Proven Winners plant pricing might be a little bit more on the more expensive side, but they do have quality plants. Like right here, this is a Ficus Amstel King. I do like this as well. Now, as far as Ficus, again, my recommendation for the plant care tips for any Ficus plant is to make sure that you are providing them with bright indirect light and making sure that you are staying on top of the watering. So I would say water the plant when it is about 40 to 50% dry, and then just water it, give it a good soak. But as far as these two Proven Winner plants, we haven't run into the Doc Block Michelle Anthurium Michelle. Who knows, we might find it. And the thing about it is, I am seeing that this Home Depot has some light stock in terms of just the indoor tropical plants. So I may not find it, but I am going to go to, another location just to see if there's any other plant finds. But as far as the plants here, and again, I would recommend just watching this entire video to find out whether I find the Proven Winners Doc Block Anthuriums Michelle at a big box store. But you can see $14.98. I do love that they have this Hoya carnosa, Crimson Princess. It is one of the more common Hoyas to find, but needless to say, it is still an easy to care for plant. Hoyas are so forgiving. Hoyas come in so many varieties, and I just love them. And then if you're able to get them to bloom, that is a huge plus. I haven't been able to get mine to bloom yet, but who knows, I might be lucky. They may end up blooming, but at least I haven't sent a Hoya to plant heaven. Now, this is a beautiful Tradescantia Feeling Flirty. It's a little bit more compact. It is for $19.99, and I do have one of these as well. I did get it on sale for it was 50% off. So that's the thing about going to big box stores. I always say Sometimes the unexpected things like, plants being on sale or doing, going in there and finding an unexpected rare plant find. That's what makes big box store plant shopping fun. And then on top of that, most big box stores will have very cost-effective plant pricing. So I know that I do these daily videos for all of our plant foldies here. And again, I wanted to say thank you so much for always tuning into my plant content. I work very hard to try to get you that daily plant content, with the holiday season being extremely busy for me as far as just, my career. I'm at least very happy to know that these plants, being able to get some of this plant shopping for my, my plant content. So thank you for tuning into my live premiere chats. I really appreciate it. And then you can see right over here, we've got another proven winners, new release. It's not the Anthurium. This is another Philodendron golden crocodile. I love that as well. And it's one of those plants that I just appreciate. It's a gorgeous neon colored looking plant. I love the yellow neon colored leaves. It is a really beautiful plant right here. So we're going to see what that all looks like in terms of the plant. As far as getting more of that neon colored look for that philodendron, you want to make sure you are providing it with quite a bit of bright indirect light. I would say let the soil dry out completely before watering the philodendron golden crocodile. It is also a trending tropicals Costa Farms plant, so I'm glad that Proven Winners is actually releasing more philodendron. I am still surprised that they were able to get some Doc Block Anthurium Michelles, and I've just recently gotten into those types of anthuriums because in the past I found that anthuriums have been a little bit more challenging for me. My leaves would get a little bit crispy or yellow, but then after I changed my substrate from soil to lechuza pon or leca or semi-hydro, it has made growing anthuriums so easy. I love that as well. It's one of those changes in the substrate that really impact the long-term growing ability for me to grow a plant like an anthurium. And as you can see right over here, I am just picking up a bunch of Ficus elastica. You can see that this one is a Ficus elastica ruby. Now with the ruby, as far as plant care tips, again, it is a Ficus. So you want to make sure you're giving it quite a bit of bright indirect light or just full on sun. If you want, if you're able to just acclimate it, it will do phenomenal. If you're able to provide it a higher humidity condition, it's going to also enjoy it as well. These plants are very easy to take care of. The only thing that makes them somewhat challenging is the lighting requirements. And again, most people will not have the best lighting conditions in indoor spaces. So if you have to grow plants indoors, but you don't have the best lighting conditions, I would always suggest supplementing your lighting with some grow lights. As far as grow lights, I will ask plant foldies that are watching this channel that use grow lights, what grow light brands would you recommend? I know that I use Sansi grow lights. I am curious to try using Soltec grow lights. I find it that there's many positive reviews. So again, give me your insights, as well as if you've made it this far into the video, please hit the like button for this video. I will say that your lights will definitely, likes will definitely help this channel grow even further, because it does push this content out to more plant foldies like yourself or future plant foldies. So definitely hit the like button. And I also encourage everybody to leave comments in the comment section. I know that some of you guys may watch this video during the live premiere chats, but I do hope you will also leave some plant insights, plant care tips, or if you've been able to find an Anthurium Doc Block Michelle by Proven Winners at Home Depot. That is the hot topic of the hour. I am super excited, and I'm pretty confident that if I am not able to find that Doc Block Anthurium at Home Depot at a big box store today, I just know that the Dallas-Fort Worth area tends to get some really good plants in general. So we will see. But you can see that this is an amazing looking dark foliage plant. This is a Ficus elastica burgundy, and I just really love the look of the Ficus elastica burgundy. Really nice looking plant. Love the look of it. You can see that it's got a natural shine, but I will say if you don't provide it with quite a bit of light, it will not get you that dark foliage. It's going to be more of a darker green color. So make sure you are providing it with quite a bit of light. I will say that Ficus elastica plants, these rubber tree plants, plants are a little bit more drought tolerant. Their leaves are very waxy, they're very rubbery. And I did want to show you some more new Proven Winner releases. So Proven Winners has released some gorgeous philodendron, and this one right here, unfortunately, this one particular leaf kind of snapped. This is a philodendron squamiferum. I already have one, but I love the fact that they have this available. These are for $29.99, and if you're looking for a nice philodendron squamiferum is an interesting one, because if you look at the petioles on the leaves, it's nice and fuzzy. And again, I love the look of this dark Ficus elastica. And I know this sounds silly, but I really like the look of the Philodendron mayoi. This is for $29.99. I already have one as well, but this one is a really nice size. You can see that the leaves are pretty large. They're pretty mature. I have one and it hasn't pushed out nearly as much growth. So I don't know if it's a slower growing plant, but we will see what that all looks like. And I love the Philodendron mayoi. I just remember years back, this philodendron was quite expensive, and now it is not. It is one of those plants that I think, with big box stores and with nurseries like Proven Winners, the fact that they were able to make them readily available for the general public, I really appreciate that. It brings me a lot of joy to be able to see this. And, as far as me wanting to buy this, I'm super tempted to buy this. But again, I'm holding my plant budget, just because if I am able to find that Proven Winners Anthurium Doc Block at this Home Depot, I'm definitely going to buy it, hands down. But this is a strong contender for me to take home. I mean, you can take a look at this. Let me know in the comments what you think about this Philodendron mayoi. I think it's beautiful. And, Philodendron mayoi, it's a pretty easy to care for plant. And I love the fact that the leaves have an interesting shape about it. I mean, take a look at that. And the thing about it is, even though it is not a variegated plant, I still find beauty in the fact that it's got a beautiful green color to its leaves. I don't know. It's one of those things where now, even though I do like the variegated plants, I will always like variegated plants, I have a strong appreciation for green colored plants. Now, we're going to go keep looking for those anthuriums, but for now, I'm going to keep talking about some of the other plants here. You can see that crotons was $24.98. Now it's $19.99. And, the reason why a lot of these crotons, this one is specifically a croton petra, they made them more on sale because the fall season is coming to a close. We're now going to be more into the Christmas holiday seasonal plants, a lot of the pines, a lot of the cypress, that sort of thing. And you can see right over here, this is one of my favorite cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. This is the cordyline kiwi, because it just has so many colors to it. You've got some pinks, you've got some neon green, you've got some yellowish colored leaves. And it's just a very interesting plant. I would love to be able to grow a cordyline plant indoors, but I've had many instances where I've tried to grow this plant indoors and it ends up just getting spider mites. There's just a lot of plants, and I've talked about this in a lot of my videos, but certain plants are really not meant to grow indoors because we're just not able to give it the actual environment it needs. Even though we do put grow lights, even though we put humidity, sometimes they just are not meant to grow indoors. Now, as far as this plant right here, this one is an easy to care for indoor plant, large spathiphyllum right here. I mean, look at how massive the leaves are. And peace lilies, I always say that this is an easy to care for plant, but it's one of those plants that it doesn't really interest me. I suppose if I find like a spathiphyllum or peace lily picasso, a variegated one, that might be something that I'd be interested in, but I just feel like there's just a lot of surface space for that particular plant. Still, it's an easy to care for plant, one that I would recommend for anybody beginning plants. And then also, if you go to a big box store like Home Depot, you will find some really good deals on hanging baskets. These are by Vigoro Plants. You can see these are for $19.98. This is a Philodendron hederaceum Brazil. Classic plant. It's a plant I would recommend. It's a plant that I feel like everybody needs to add in their plant collection. And then you can see right over here, we've got another Hoya carnosa, Crimson Princess. Really like the look of this plant as well. I find it super attractive, and it's an easy to care for plant as well. This one again is for $19.98. And if you notice, the leaves have more of a pinkish color. That's because it's gotten some more bright light. It's sun stress, and that's the cool thing about Hoyas. If you are sun stressing it, meaning you're providing it with more light than it really requires, but not necessarily burning it, it's going to give you some really good coloration and possible variegation. So that's an added bonus to succulents, and also Hoyas. So as far as the Hoyas, $19.98. With Hoyas, I wouldn't overwater them. I would actually wait till their soil is completely dry before you water them, and try to give them more bright light. They like that more so than being in a low light condition. I don't think low light conditions are really going to work well for Hoyas, but again, for those that are Hoya lovers, Hoya heads, please leave in the comments your plant care tips, because I'm not necessarily an expert of Hoyas, but I know some of you guys are. And I did want to pan over some of the planters. So, as far as me doing big box or plant shopping videos, I do want to show you some of the plant products I use and some of the planters that I'm really into. So these terracotta planters I love, and then I do like the look of this, $9.97. I did wish that this would actually have a drainage hole, but I really like that minimalistic look. I love very matte finishes for planters. I just find that to be a little bit more modern looking, a little bit more sleek, and that's really what the aesthetics for my plant collection would be as far as like planters. Although I would say I've been buying a bunch of self-watering planters, just the white ones, because I want to continue to transfer a lot of my plants into semi-hydro. I just find that semi-hydro is a lot easier to grow plants. And then you can see right here, I'm going to keep searching for that particular Proven Winners Doc Block Anthurium, but you can see we've got a bunch of Monstera deliciosas and a massive Alocasia regal shields, and this one is for $24.98. And the thing about Alocasia regal shields is, look at how gorgeous the veining is of this Alocasia. This Alocasia can actually grow to a pretty large size, but the thing about it is, this Alocasia is also very much spider mite prone, or a spider mite magnet when you try to grow them indoors. I really think they're really best to be outside, but if you're able to grow an Alocasia regal shields, more power to you. I just have tried to grow that in the past and it hasn't done well for me. And then you can see, as far as like holiday plants, now they're taking blooming Anthurium. I wish it was actually the Proven Winners Doc Block Anthurium, but this is the most common Anthurium you will find at a big box store. I really like it. They come in many different varieties of blooms, but the most common one would be the red one. And then I'm just gonna go walk around here. There are a couple of other houseplants I can show you, but I want to walk around here and just show you some of the indoor and outdoor plants. You can see we've got some chrysanthemums there. We've got some more shrubs that are pretty much native, or at least can grow in Texas. So me growing in plants outdoors in Texas, my grow zone is 8B. There are certain plants that are a little bit more conducive to grow long term for me at North Dallas. But you can see right here, that is a variegated ginger. I really like that plant. The thing about it is, I've tried to grow variegated ginger indoors. It did not work for me. It was not happy growing indoors. So it's one of those plants that you have to grow outside. And before I go into more of the outdoor plants, I did want to walk over here and just show you a couple more plant products I would recommend. I really love using Super Thrive vitamin solution. This one's for $15.47. Super Thrive is amazing. So I use it for my semi-hydro water nutrients, as well as just in watering. You can actually water your plant with this daily, or at least with every watering. It does provide a B vitamin that really helps with stress plants. I always say water your plants, whatever you're doing, repots, or if you're converting a plant from soil to semi-hydro. I really think that Super Thrive is a great plant product. That rooting powder is one I've used in the past that does very well as far as like soil propagations. And then I actually like Miracle Grow. Some people have their own opinions about Miracle Grow. They're not really a fan, but I'm a fan of it because Miracle Grow fertilizer is actually really cost effective. I've used that liquid fertilizer. I've used the Quick Start, and I definitely use the all-purpose Miracle Grow fertilizer. It's got a 20-20-20 nutrient solution for it, and it pretty much works on any plants. I would say you can use it half dose. And then as far as fish plant food, highly recommend fish fertilizer. I mean, if you use like maybe half the dose or a quarter of the dose, you can water your plants with pretty much every watering to feed the plant. You know, it doesn't really burn the plant if you're over fertilizing it, because it's a very gentle fertilizer. It's an organic fertilizer. It's a natural fertilizer. And again, fish fertilizer for me would be something I would recommend. Now I'm going to walk over here and show you some Encore Azalea. So I know we are looking for the proven winners, Doc Block Anthurium, but whenever I go to a big box store, I will always show you outdoor gardening plants, because for me, outdoor gardening plants are also a huge interest of mine. You can see this is for $32.98. We've got some Encore Azaleas, and again, with azaleas, I love them. They are blooming shrubs that will actually rebloom at least 3 times a year. Most azalea varieties will not rebloom. They usually just bloom in the spring or early summer, but the Encore Azalea will bloom spring, summer, and fall. So you can see right over here, this one is already starting to bloom. And the thing about Encore Azalea or any azaleas, if you're going to plant them in your landscape, you want to plant them with more acidic soil. And to get your soil more acidic, you can always add like coffee grounds to the soil. They really like that. And also, when you plant in Encore Azalea, you want to make sure, and I will cannot stress this, that you keep the soil moist, not overwater, but moist, because the roots are very fine, and that's the fastest way to kill an azalea. They have very fine roots. They don't do very well in drought. You have to really let these the roots establish before they can really tolerate being in drought. Now over here, I want to show you this planter again. It's a mixed planter. I am a fan of it. You can see this is that Asiatic jasmine that has more of that orange variegation. Love that as well, mixed with the croton. So this is more of a fall seasonal planter that people probably utilize during the Halloween season. And then you can see they've got some beautiful flowers here. So I'm just going to walk around and show you guys some more of the outdoor plants. And you can see this one is $18.98. Love the look of this Encore Azalea. You look at that bloom right there. And you can see plant foldies that we've got a plethora of different types of plants available. Those canna lilies are still within season. And then I just love the fact that Home Depot has just so many varieties of flowering plants. And then we have coral bells right here. And the thing about coral bells is they have a really nice color, a nice leaf interest. Now with coral bells, they do like sun. I've tried to grow these actually indoors. It did not work out for me. It ended up getting spider mites. So again, a lot of these outdoor plants, some of them are not versatile enough to be put into an indoor space, especially the ones that really require full sun. So that's what I wanted to just highlight. So if you've ever tried to grow plants that are really meant to be outdoors, the ones that are full sun loving, it's going to be a challenge to grow them indoors. But like I said, again, I did want to also feature some of these holiday Christmas type plants. Look at this right over here. This one is only for $10.98. This is a lemon cypress, and I love the look of it because it's got more of that neon green, neon colored foliage on it. And I really love that it has a natural cylinder type, cylindrical type shape to it. And let's take a look at this one right over here, plant foldies. We've got another one for $10.98. What type of plant is this? This is another type of cypress. This is a Euro cypress. And if you're looking for Christmas decor that you can carry over past the Christmas season or the holiday season, buy yourself one of these Christmas type tree type plants. These are considered living Christmas trees. The only thing is these will not do long-term indoors. You really want to grow these outdoors. They're really not meant to grow indoors. And that's why I always find it interesting that, people will take an Alberta spruce or an Italian stone pine and try to grow it indoors, because these plants really require quite a bit of light for them to do well. But, needless to say, these are super cute. I was actually thinking a lot of these plants could be be good for bonsai. So for those that don't know what bonsai are, it's the Japanese art of actually growing plants in a shallow container that mimics more so a miniature tree. I mean, this right here, you can see that this is a dwarf Alberta spruce. Would be really interesting to see if these could actually be great bonsai, pre-bonsai specimens. So for those that actually grow bonsai or are into bonsai, do you ever utilize a lot of the pines that are more readily available, when they come out for the holiday season? But I am just going to pick up a couple of more of these plants and just walk around and show you these Christmas trees or live Christmas trees. I am noticing that Home Depot and a lot of the big box stores are getting ready to get their live Christmas trees. So we will definitely see that. I will try my very best to go ahead and film that. But again, it has been a very busy 2 weeks, 3 weeks already for me with just work and trying to balance that out. I do appreciate you guys for always tuning in to watch my plant shopping videos. And again, if you made it this far into the video and you haven't hit the like button already, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video. It really helps me out. It's a huge way to support my channel, and in also sharing these videos to your friends. If you have social media platforms like Instagram or Facebook, I would really love that support as well. Would really appreciate it. But you can see right here, this is by J. Berry, but you see that we've got even more Alberta spruce trees, $22.98. These are super cute. What I would do if I am going to buy one of these plants is I would actually buy it and I would actually grow this as like a patio garden plant versus taking this indoors. It is interesting though to see if anybody actually takes these living Christmas trees to grow indoors long term. I think it would just be a challenge. I don't think it would be one of those plants that you could grow indoors. I know that a lot of big box stores will also carry what you would call a Norfolk pine, which is more of a tropical plant to grow as a indoor plant. So you can see over here, we even have more plants here by season. This one is for $14.98. And then this one is a really nice looking plant. I would say this would actually make a good shrub for a Japanese garden. So if you're looking for smaller shrub type plants, you can get these pines and these cypress. And for me, I'm actually curious to see if anybody's actually grown an Alberta spruce in the ground in a landscape. Now, I also find that rosemary plants are used for Christmas trees, so it smells very good. I love the smell of rosemary. It's a nice herb, but you can see that we have a bunch of these readily available as well. And I just find it interesting that we have these different types of live Christmas tree type plants that come out at a big box store like Home Depot. I do want to ask anybody, if you buy your live Christmas trees from Home Depot, Lowe's, or Walmart, I'm curious to see where most people will buy their live Christmas trees, or do you go to like a live Christmas tree like nursery specifically? So leave in the comments what that looks like for you. I will say, if I am gonna pick a plant that is a live Christmas tree, I would buy the Italian stone pine. I just think that it's a lovely looking plant, and it does have that nice natural shape just like a Christmas tree. So this is a holiday tree. This is trees that will only be shown or actually be more readily available during the holiday season, and it's one that I would recommend, the Italian stone pine. And then we just have more plants right over here. So that is the beauty of big box stores. You will always find many different plants, and most big box stores stay within trend as far as being seasonally relevant. Last month in October, they had a bunch of croton plants, and I would say crotons are definitely not meant to grow in the fall. They really like full sun, high humidity, tropical environments. But hey, as far as being an annual plant, they are considering that they really wouldn't grow long term in a colder environment, but they have fall color leaves. So I suppose that's what makes them a seasonal plant for decoration. And it's just really interesting the uses we have for plants. I know that a lot of us will utilize plants also for decorative purposes, but when we make plants decorative purposes, it doesn't always align with, the plant being able to grow long term, if that makes any sense. But, this is a plant, for instance, that I feel like is a seasonal plant. This is the Norfolk pine. They have a bunch of those. And then it's interesting how they have celosas right over here as well. I mean, I guess it can be a Christmas holiday type plant. And then you can see that most plants will become a seasonal plant when you start putting little bows and ribbons like that. And you can see that Costa Farms for $12.98 has a bunch of Norfolk pines. Costa Farms definitely has produced quite a bit to provide big box stores. You can see that these are really cute ornaments, and it does have that holiday feel for it. But if you ever saw a Norfolk pine in its full maturity, it has an interesting shape about it. I would do a search on the website, on the internet for it and find an actual picture, but it's really nice looking. Again, these are for $12.98. So Costa Farms has already pushed out a lot of these Norfolk pine to Lowe's and Home Depot. So I'm curious to see if they will also push out a bunch at Walmart. All of those three major big box stores that I go to go plant shopping, they tend to have the same plants, but it just really depends on the plant pricing. I would go and out on a limb and say that Walmart will probably have the most cost-effective plant pricing, but you never know. Sometimes Home Depot will actually put these plants straight on sale, and then Lowe's will also clearance out their plants. So for me, that's the reason why I like to go do big box store plant shopping videos on a daily basis, because you just never know what you're going to run into. But I am starting to get a little discouraged. I don't think there is a proven winners Doc Block Michelle Anthurium available at this Home Depot, but there have been instances where I was just looking all over, and all of a sudden there was like a very discreet corner of a big box store where all of a sudden you'll find that rare plant. So I'm just going to keep walking around here talking to you guys about the holiday plants and just giving you some more insights about plant care and what plants are available at big box stores. And you can see we've got a bunch of blooming plants. We've got a bunch of roses. And the thing about it is I wouldn't recommend growing roses in the landscape at this point because the temperatures are going to get a little cold. So most roses at this point, I don't know if it's the time now to go ahead and prune them back for next year. I would love to be able to grow roses, but the thing about it is I've done it in the past. And one thing I will say about roses is you definitely do not want to overcrowd them. When you grow roses, you want to make sure that there is really good airflow. Otherwise, they're very much susceptible to plant pests and fungal diseases. And also watering roses leaves, you want to water from the base because you don't want their leaves to stay wet because, again, they will get that yellow black mold on their leaves. And that was one of the problems about my rose garden. I had a really beautiful variegated rose garden, but long term, it just took too much effort to try to keep them alive because I overcrowded them. And you can see right here, as far as like variegated plants, variegated blooming plants, I love this bougainvillea blueberry ice. I love the variegated leaves, and for a variegated plant that takes full sun and can tolerate the heat, I think that's fabulous because most variegated plants you would think are a little bit more sensitive to getting a lot of sun, but this plant needs to be in full sun. And so as far as bougainvilleas, I will always be a fan of bougainvilleas. I think that most people overlook bougainvilleas. For me, I would be able to grow bougainvilleas only as an annual plant or as a plant that is going to stay in a container, because my grow zone, which is 8B in North Dallas, I mean, we get really harsh cold winters, and that plant is more of a tropical plant and it will not survive being in a landscape. And speaking of plants, so I remember buying a bunch of these calatheas, these large calathea. This is a Calathea rospicta. This one is still for $18.88, but if you notice, they used to be very, very beautiful. They've had some really nice shine on the leaves, but you can see the leaves are now really crispy or starting to get crispy, browning. And, it's just sad because calatheas, I always wonder why calatheas are, produced as a house plant. Same thing with the geonanthus plant or the geo plant, that black plant that, Costa Farms has released. These are plants that are so challenging to grow long term. I just feel like that most of them will end up going to plant heaven. But as far as a plant that will not go to plant heaven, it's an easy to care for plant, $19.98, Aglaonema red Siam. You already know if it's going to be a grow folds, plant foldy video, I will find a way to show an Aglaonema, because I have been extremely passionate about trying to influence people to buying Aglaonema. So Costa Farms, at least at Lowe's, has really released a lot of these Aglaonema varieties. I would say if you want an easy to care for plant and you trust my judgment in terms of recommendations, buy an Aglaonema. Leave in the comments if you've ended up buying one because of my recommendations, and let me know how that goes for you. I think it's an easy to care for plant. Now over here we have a Croton Petra. These ones I believe are for $9.97. So a lot of these Crotons, there were so many varieties, so many to pick from, and now that November is here and Halloween is over and we're moving along the seasons very quickly, they have become more of a plant that's going to be on sale. Yucca plants, really like them as well. I just don't grow them because they take up a lot of space when they get a little bit larger. I'd rather choose like a Monstera deliciosa or a large foliage plant. And then you can see right here, we've got some Ficus elastica burgundy and then some more cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. So I'm just going to walk around and show you the foliage. Here we have seen some beautiful bird of paradise. Now bird of paradise, it is a plant that if you're going to grow it indoors, they can get large, but you're going to need to give it quite a bit of light. I would position a bird of paradise right next to a window, a south facing window or a west facing window to really provide it. And if you're able to grow your bird of paradise outdoors for a season, you're going to actually do much better than indoor spaces, because bird of paradise, it's one of those plants that just really needs a lot lot of light. I would say growing a bird of paradise indoors, you will not really see blooms. It's really hard to get them to bloom indoors because of the amount of light it requires. It's really a tropical plant. Now, if you live out in Florida, I'm pretty sure that these can be like landscape plants. And again, that's the reason why a lot of these tropical indoor plants do best in climates like Florida, because that's really the natural environment. There is never really a plant that is known as an indoor plant. Indoor plants are really just a concept where it has been able to get adapted into, but all of these plants are sourced out from an area where they get to grow outdoors. There's not a plant that just magically appeared indoors. It just so happens that we've been able to find plant care tips and plant care that will be more conducive to growing a plant indoors. Like this Ficus lyrata, for instance, it's got to get a lot of light. Otherwise, it's not going to do well. It will actually drop its leaves. It's a finicky plant in that sense. I have one though that I've kind of neglected, and surprisingly, it's done well for me. But anyways, as far as all of the large plants at this Home Depot, I'm running out of options to show you. I really don't see the proven winners, Doc Block Anthurium, but I will continue to just look for it, and we'll see what that all looks like. If it's not at this big box store, I'm sure it's gonna pop up somewhere.
Blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected all of the love from up above. We used to feel like a glove.
Plant foliage, you can see we've got some gorgeous succulent plants right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull up a couple of succulent plants. Really like the look of it. And you can see that they just got a shipment in, and I always like going to a big box store whenever they have new shipments. It just makes it easy for me to shop, because I feel like plants are going to be a little bit more fresh when you go to a big box store like Home Depot. You can see right here, this is that rainbow elephant bush. And so I'm just going to pick up a couple of these hanging baskets. Again, plant foliage, let me know what you think about some of these plants right here. This is only for $12.98, which I think is a really good plant price.
Blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected all of the love from up above. We used to feel like a glove.
And you can see they've got some starters here of some different types of succulents. I like this calanchoe. I like the fuzzy versions of it. Look at how cute that is. And you can just see we have many varieties to pick from. And unfortunately, that Home Depot, I was not able to find the proven winners. Anthurium, Doc Block. So I am just going to go to Kroger just to end my day off, just to see what plants they may potentially have at this Kroger. This Kroger is out in Frisco, Texas, right off of Custer Road in El Dorado. So, this is one of the places that I have been able to find some pretty good plants for a really good cost-effective price. I love the new holiday plants that they're getting as well today. These are for $29.99. I like it. This is the Leland Cypress planter for $29.99. And when I did go to the Home Depot earlier that day, I was really set on finding the proven winners, Doc Block Anthurium, and I'm just a little slightly disappointed because it's one of those things where I go plant hunting and I try to find them at big box stores. And again, for those that continue to tune into my videos, really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to tune in and actually show you a Doc Block Anthurium. Hopefully it does show up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Leave in the comments, send me an Instagram message if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you find a Doc Block Anthurium by Proven Winners at Home Depot. I'm sure it will pop up at some point, but as far as this Kroger's, if you ever go grocery store plant shopping, you're gonna find some pretty cost-effective plant pricing, like these mums right here. Gorgeous mums for $9.99. Really like the look of that as well. And then you can just see right over here, we have even more mums to pick from. So I'm just gonna walk around and just show you a little bit at Kroger's. I might be able to find something interesting to purchase. I always feel like I have to purchase plants at a big box store or a grocery store, especially Kroger, because they do have some amazing plants. Love their plant setup as well. These are super lush and healthy plants. And the one thing I will say about grocery store plants is they treat it like fresh produce. So if there's a plant that's not healthy, they will clearance it out and try to get it out. So that way they always have a fresh assortment of houseplants to pick from. So let's just admire how gorgeous these chrysanthemum are.
You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me crying over you. You don't want my heart, you don't want my love, you just want me crying over you. And I'm thinking about you.
That we have some Philodendron orchids. Now these ones are dyed, so you can see that that's really not a real pink. Eventually when it reblooms, it'll probably be a white Philodendron orchids. Again, Kroger's probably has the best variety of Philodendron orchids alongside with Trader Joe's. I don't have a lot of Philodendron orchids, but I do find this one really intriguing. I just wish that this would be a real color bloom, but these are also dyed. So what happens is that they actually get these Philodendron orchids to soak up some dyed water, which actually dyes their leaves. I did it once as in elementary school, where we got some white carnations and we put them in water that was with food coloring, and eventually it actually dyed the actual petals. So I thought that was really interesting. But you can see here there are many types of Philodendron orchids to pick from. These are all, I believe, for $19.99. This one actually has Philodendron orchids with bromeliads. Really love the look of that as well. And I just really like the fact that this plant is readily available again at Kroger grocery store. So we're just going to keep walking around here. I do love plant shopping at night just because there's not as many people. And can we talk about how gorgeous this peace lily is, or spathiphyllum? And guess what? It is only for $19.99. And again, it is all about getting that prices right. To me, if you want a large plant that's easy to care for, very low light tolerant, I would recommend getting a spathiphyllum or peace lily. I mean, let me know in the comments if you would agree. If you grow peace lilies, it is a very thirsty plant. It is a plant that I really love as well. And we're just going to keep walking around here, and you can see that there is a pineapple bromelia for $19.99. So this one is actually kind of expensive for a bromeliad, but needless to say, it's a super cute plant. Let me know in the comments if you have bromeliads. I just love the look of that as well. And I just love looking at all of these Phalaenopsis orchids. I mean, they just have beautiful blooms. And even take a look at that over there, all of the chrysanthemums and mums. And then now I'm going to just walk around to see what houseplants that they have available in the next table. Everybody's favorite, it's the Hedera helix. Really love the Hedera helix or English ivy. Absolutely stunning plant. It's just a plant that is a little bit more challenging to grow, and these are sourced by Mason Farm. So you can see this one is for $9.99. You know, for English ivy, I just say don't grow them as a house plant. Just grow them outdoors. They will do fine for you. If you try to grow them indoors, it's just really challenging. You already know that as gorgeous as these plants are, they are very much spider mite prone. You're also asking for more plant pests to make it into your plant collection, and you know how discouraging it is once you get a plant pest infestation. I just wouldn't recommend it. It's one of those situations where I just like to admire Hedera helix at Kroger's or any other local nursery. But as you can see here, they do have a plethora of different types of English ivy. Like this one has some really nice variegation. You know, I love English ivy. I've just sent 14 of them to Plant Heaven. I have one left, and you know, it's one of those plants where I just need to make sure that I'm watering it consistently and it will do okay. I wouldn't say it's really thriving, but it's still gorgeous. I just love the variegation that it has as well. And I love this Costa Farms philodendron. This is for $14.99. This is the Philodendron Birkin, and for some reason I've been getting into Birkin again, even though this is a common philodendron. I just love the white margins on the leaves. Now, not all Philodendron Birkin are created equal. Some of them have higher variegation than others, although I've been told that this particular philodendron, the more light you give it, the better variegation it's going to get. And I've actually seen it with my Philodendron Birkins. I had it right next to a grow light that pretty much stays on all the time, and the last few leaves literally were almost just pure white. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing for the plant, since it's going to need some green, some chlorophyll to be able to like photosynthesize. But $14.99, that is not a bad price at all for the Philodendron Birkin. And then as far as just all of these house plants, again, if you're ever needing to do a late night plant shopping excursion, I would recommend going to Kroger grocery store, because I believe most of them are open till 1 a.m. You know, a lot of the big box stores will close at 10, and I think Walmart closes at 11. So if I ever need to see plants, I will just need to be sure that the plants I go to like a Kroger grocery store. Like you can see, this is another Sansevieria Golden Flame. Beautiful plant. One that is for a beginner and easy care plant. One that I think everybody should add to their plant collection. I wouldn't add a Photonia necessarily, because as pretty as the color is, I love pink plants. This one needs to be watered more consistently. And I'm at the point now where I just don't water my plants as consistent. It's just a really challenging plant to grow for me long term. It might work for others. You know, Sansevieria or snake plants are super easy. And then I'm just gonna keep pulling up some plants and showing you. Let me know in the comments what's your favorite, what plants you like, and if you ever buy at grocery stores like Kroger. can see right here, we've got an Aglaonema Silver Bay. Really like the look of that, and that one is also for $14.99. I never get tired of Aglaonemas. I think they're fabulous, and I think they are just fantabulous, and I just can't keep saying that they're fabulous, but they really are super easy plants. And I love the pink on this Bromeliad, $14.99 as well.
All of the time we spent together, in our prime we were birds of a feather, different kind. We were laughing through the pain, you were never once so.
And when you talk about Philodendron Birkins, or what they call white margin, this one doesn't have nearly as much variegation. So Philodendron Birkin is not all created equal. Some of them are a little bit more variegated than others. And this one for $13.99 is a Calathea rosae rospicta, beautiful plant. One that I cannot grow into my plant collection ever again, just because I've already sent it to Plant Heaven multiple times, and it was one of those plants that I've tried different substrates and it still just didn't work out for me. Ficus lyrata, or fiddle fig leaf, this one's for $19.99, so it's a little bit more pricey, at least for the size of the fiddle fig leaf. You can get like a full grown tree at that size, but you know, if you want something small for a smaller space, I believe that this one would work. I just don't know about the actual plant pricing for it. And that's the thing about going big box store plant shopping or grocery store plant shopping. Compare the plant pricing, because not all plants are priced equally as well.
All of the time we spent together, in our prime we were birds of a feather, different kind. We were laughing through the pain, you were never once so vague. Cut the cord that kept us connected, blacking out the mirror where your light once reflected. All of the love from up above.
And I love the Philodendron Birkin. Again, this one has some pretty good variegation. Just take a look at the white margins. I think it's stunning, and I think it's another plant that I feel like is underrated now. I don't think a lot of people are running to get a Philodendron Birkin, but you know, can you imagine one that's a really large size? It is somewhat of a climber as well, because it eventually will need some type of support system to keep it going. But as far as the margins, I'm just going to keep going in detail. Look at how gorgeous that is. And that's the thing, you know, I have to kind of console myself, because I was really hoping that I would find the proven winners, Doc Block Anthurium, but I just need to be thankful that I can at least go out and about and look at plants. I know that that particular proven winners plant is going to eventually make it to the Dallas market, but sometimes you just really want that plant to make it. And I do believe that like the Dallas-Fort Worth area has a really good way of sourcing these plants to, you know, the big box stores. So maybe the next week I'm going to keep trying to search for that. But for now, I'm just going to console myself and look at some pretty plants at Kroger. I mean, this is my go-to Kroger. I'm really based close to this one. So I'm always looking for plants like this Hoya carrii, $13.99. That's a really good plant price for it. And again, I say that Kroger has some good plant pricing. And if you catch them when they are trying to liquidate their plants, they are super cheap. I was able to get an Aglaonema, for instance, for $1.30. And that was actually a really good price. But I'm just going to keep picking up plants here. This one is really cool. Alocasia stingray, $13.99. And while it's not really a rare alocasia anymore, it's still one that you don't commonly see, and this alocasia can get fairly large. I just love that little tail at the bottom or the top of the leaf. leaf. Really nice looking plant, and it's another one that I would recommend if you want a more unique looking alocasia, but I would still say it is a bit of a finicky plant. I would put it in semi-hydro like Lechuza Pon or Leca if you really want to grow it out a little bit more so. But it's a gorgeous alocasia, and I'm just going to keep picking up some more plants to show you and then eventually end this video. All the plants I'm picking up are all sourced out from Mason Farms, which is actually in New Mexico. So it's a nursery out in New Mexico. Really like that. And you could see that this one though is $19.99 for this Aglaonema silver base. So even if you compare the Mason Farms one versus a Costa Farms one, they're the same size, but Costa Farms is $14.99. So even the plant pricing, there's a little bit of discrepancies on the range of how much a plant costs. And then also golden pothos for $19.99 in a 6-inch planter. I wouldn't buy it just because I can find that for $9.99 as well somewhere else. So comparing plant pricing as you go plant shopping is really key. I think it's important for us to be really cognizant of like what plant pricing we are finding at big box stores and grocery stores, because we don't all have dispensable income. And even if you did have dispensable income, I say always go with a budget, because it's always good to save money for the future. But as far as all of the plants here, I think they're beautiful. Calathea lancifolia, $19.99 as well. It's a beautiful plant, but again, it's one of those plants that I just cannot grow long term. I mean, let me know in the comments if you agree, if calatheas are challenging, but I like to admire them. I've started to realize that I can just have my own plant collection by doing window plant shopping, not necessarily buying the plant, because I just can't help that. It's such a beautiful plant, but for $19.99, knowing that I can send this to plant heaven, it is not my cup of tea. See right over here, I've just picked up so many beautiful plants. Look at this peperomia raindrop. I really like that as well for $19.99. So it's a little bit pricey. There is a little bit more pricey plants today at Kroger. I'm surprised, but overall, I think it's been a really good day, as far as just being able to look at plants. Hopefully you guys have all enjoyed my plant insights, my plant care tips. I know that you've asked me to give you a little bit more of the plant care tips as I talk about the plants. I am am wanting to get that Philodendron Birkin, but for now, let's just hit the like button for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Growfolds with all the notification bell on. This is Richie. I am going to find that Anthurium soon. Bye! Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfolds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at the Home Depot out in Prosper, Texas. As always, please hit the like button for this video. It definitely helps it out, as well as following me on Instagram at Growfolds. This is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me, as well as get some more insights on the YouTube channel. But anyways, today is a late afternoon adventure out at this Home Depot, because if you haven't already known or heard of, Doc Block Anthuriums have reached big box stores. Yes, Anthurium Doc Blocks have reached Home Depot, and I am out on a mission to try to find these Anthurium Doc Blocks or Doc Block Anthuriums. I am super excited, and I'm hoping that this Home Depot, which I actually dub as one of the best Home Depots in the North Dallas Fort Worth area, will have them. So we're gonna see if I'm able to find these Anthuriums. Now I know I am probably just following the craze as far as trying to find in an uncommon or hard to find plant at a big box store. You know, Anthuriums in general, especially Doc Block, would be something that you wouldn't necessarily find at a big box store like Home Depot. But as you can see, you know, these rare and uncommon plants have started to make it into the market, and Doc Block Anthuriums, that is crazy that they are now at a big box store. So we're gonna see if we can find them at Home Depot. You can see right over here though, I will show you some of the outdoor plants. If you follow my YouTube channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome, my name is Richie. I like to feature outdoor plants, gardening plants, anything that is plant related, I will definitely show. And you can see that a lot of the big box stores are starting to clear out areas to where they are going to start having live Christmas trees. So if you love the smell of a live Christmas tree, you're going to have to go to a big box store like Home Depot or Lowe's or even Walmart to get your live Christmas tree. I think Walmart doesn't actually have live Christmas trees. Correct me if I'm wrong, but at least Home Depot and Lowe's will. And, you know, as far as proven winter plants, you can see that they do have some of these live Christmas tree type plants. This one right here is not a bad price at all. And you can see right over here, a lot of the cypress and pines are Arbor-vitae, I think that's how you pronounce it. This one is for $16.99. This one is for $18.98. Same plant, just by different nurseries. And then we're just gonna walk over here and I'll show you some more of these outdoor plants. But anyways, to go back to the hunt for the Anthuriums, I'm seeing a lot of plant influencers, plant collectors literally go to Home Depots in the search of a Doc Block Anthurium. Now here's the thing I would say about like a plant that is going to be released or has been released into a big box store. The potential of people reselling those plants. It's kind of like what happened when a plant like the Monstera Thai constellation made it out into the market. You'll see a lot of people buying and reselling the plant. I say, and this is just my honest opinion, I don't think people should go out there and buy all of the Anthuriums and just think that it's okay to keep it away from other people or to resell them at a higher price. My honest opinion is I feel like people should, you know, buy the plant because they want to grow it into their plant collection or maybe gift it to somebody, not necessarily with the intent of reselling it for a higher price. I mean, that's the reason why, you know, big box stores will sell these plants because they want to make it more readily available for the general public. Now, going back to the plants, I did want to show you that these are Encore Azalea. So azaleas are a flowering shrub that I love. That one's for $18.98. Azaleas, especially the Encore Azaleas, are actually blooming around this time of the year. What makes Encore Azaleas special is that they rebloom at least 3 times a year. So you'll get them in spring, summer, and fall. They're one of the very few types of azaleas that will rebloom. Most azaleas will actually only bloom in the spring, maybe late spring or early summer. But you can see that Encore Azalea, look at how gorgeous this is. This is called the Autumn Sangria. Really like that color. And, you know, as far as Encore Azaleas, they're very prolific bloomers, and they have 31 different varieties that they have hybridized themselves. And that's the thing about azaleas. If you're going to plant an azalea in your landscape, you want to put them in an area where it's not necessarily full sun, but somewhere where they will get bright indirect light, morning light. And, you know, as far as an Encore Azalea, a little bit more light they're able to take, they're able to handle. But for the most part, azaleas really don't want to be out in full sun like that. That's not going to work for them. And as far as, you know, the soil, they want fast draining soil. They really don't want to sit in very, you know, wet conditions. But at the same time, if you're going to grow an Encore Azalea or any azalea that's establishing in a landscape, and I did want to show you the undersides of this petal, like that's super cool. You want to make sure that you are watering them at a consistent pace, as in don't let them have dry spells completely. Like, you want to keep their soil moist because they have very fine roots and they are quick to decline in health if you allow them to dry out completely for a long period of time. So again, I did want to point it out there that as far as Encore Azaleas, and this is another variety of Encore Azalea, this one is, I think, Autumn Embers, and you can see that it's got more of a reddish tone to it, a light reddish tone. I like the fact that also Encore Azaleas are more of a dwarf or medium variety of Encore Azalea. Now, I love bonsai. So bonsai is actually the form of growing a miniature tree in a shallow container. I would love to be able to convert or use Encore Azalea as kind of like a pre-bonsai and make it into an actual flowering bonsai. I would actually commission somebody who is a bonsai expert to actually make an Encore Azalea bonsai. I think that that would be such a good project. And then I did want to show you the remains of a lot of the fall seasonal plants. You can see right here, $10.99. This is a Croton Petra. You know, crotons are the most readily available seasonal plant around the month of October. But then as soon as November, the first week of November hits, they start to phase them out and bring out all of the living Christmas tree type plants. Now, I do like this mixed planter of a Dracaena Steed Soul. Look at how pretty that is. And, you know, a Dracaena Steed Soul, that would be another plant that I wouldn't mind adding to my collection. A lot of people look at Dracaenas as an underrated plant because people see them, or they are more synonymous to be a decorative plant in like a dentist's office, a doctor's office, a corporate office, not so much a person who's growing a plant collection. But for me, that is an easy to care for plant. It is a plant that is low light tolerant, drought tolerant, and fairly inexpensive. They come in many different varieties and they can get to a pretty large size. So there's just a lot of uses for a Dracaena, and it is interesting that it is in a mixed planter with a Croton Petra and caladiums. And here's the thing though, if you're going to grow a Dracaena with a Croton Petra and a caladium, the thing about it is you're going to have to give this planter quite a bit of light, especially in the fact that there is a croton in there. And then as far as the caladium, know that the caladium is going to eventually die down and become dormant. So it's an interesting concept for a mixed planter, but whenever you have a mixed planter of different types of plants, you have to look at the different care tips of them. And then over here, we've got another Encore Azalea. This one again is another beautiful one. This one is starting to bloom. And here's the thing about like azaleas. I have sent them to Plant Heaven multiple times. I've had some actually survive like a full growing season, but for some reason, I can't seem to keep them alive in my growing conditions outside. I don't know what it is, but I would love to be able to get one to establish and grow because I want flowering plants. I want flowering shrubs, and they are quintessential to a Japanese garden. And then over here, you can see that this is such a cute looking Arvitae, I think Arbovitae, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's got a little mound. That one is a tater tot, or that's what it's called. And then you can see that this one is a different type of reblooming azalea. It looks similar. This is Deja Bloom azaleas right over here. Let's look at some of the requirements and care tips. This is called the Red Tiara. I really like that. So it's similar to an Encore Azalea. I would say they're pretty much the same, somewhat, I guess. I don't know. Leave it in the comments if you've actually grown this type of azalea. But I like the fact that it is a dwarf form, and you can see that you can actually make this into like a bonsai. I really like that it's got darker red red balloons for it. And that's the thing next year I want to explore making more bonsai. I had some footage where I made some bonsai and shared it on the YouTube channel, and I did want to say, for those that have made it this far into the video, thank you, and I hope that you made it to the point where you've hit the like button for this video. It definitely helps the channel's engagement out. It pushes it out to more plant lovers like yourself. It looks like the last couple of videos have really gotten some traction in terms of viewership, and that's because you have taken the time to hit the like button and also leave lots of comments so I can respond to them. I really like the community we built on Grow Folds Plant Foldies, and I hope that we continue to get that momentum going, especially heading into the holiday season. It's been a very busy time for me. It's been a very stressful time for me, but at the end of the day, when I'm able to go to a big box store, film these plants, and be able to create this content and give you all of my plant insights in terms of like houseplant care, plant care tips, plant pricing, it's just a big joy for me. And I really hope that that resonates with you all as you continue to invest your time on a nightly basis to watch my live premieres, or if you're actually finding my channel for the first time, welcome to the community. But as far as this Home Depot, I will get to the indoor tropical plants. I have a strong feeling that I could potentially find a Doc Block Anthuriums. Actually, leave it in the timestamps in the comment section if you think that this Home Depot has it. If you watch my previous videos of this Home Depot, know that they have some of the best plants in terms of proven winners that they release, and they remain pretty full and impactful in general year round. Coleus plant, Coleus Kong. Really love the look of this plant. Some people think that this plant should only be an outdoor plant, but you can actually grow this indoor. And that's, again, a thing about Coleus plants. In the Philippines, where my family is originally from, we call this the Mayana plant. That's definitely grown outdoors, but I have been able to grow Coleus plants indoors, and they have done very well for me. It is one of those plants that is overlooked, underrated in terms of just whether you should grow them indoors or not. And then you can see right over here, this one is a mixed planter. This is a drop and decorate planter. So I think this season we've seen a lot of big box stores offer mixed planters. This one is for $19.98. You can see that Home Depot has mixed planters, Lowe's has mixed planters of plants, as well as Walmart has mixed planters. And I like this, especially if you're looking for instant gratification, where it takes the guessing game on plant care and actually just mixing up plants in a plant container. You can see that this Coleus, I am assuming, is a sun Coleus. These varieties, I don't know the specific name off the top of my head, but you will see that they have a beautiful look about it. You've got some reds, you've got some orange, and you've got some yellows, you've got some borders around the leaves. It is a really nice plant, and actually this can get fairly large. What I would do, as it's gotten a little bit leggy, is you can actually cut that and stick the plant directly into the container as to propagate it and make it more full, but also to encourage more growth. So that's one way of doing it. And as far as Coleus plants, literally they have a 98% chance of propagating straight into soil. It is one of the easiest plants to propagate ever. And then I'm just going to walk over here and show you some of these blooms and then these coral bells. So $10.98 by Vigoro Plants. Vigoro is basically I would say the Costa Farms or provider for for Home Depot. You see a lot of Vigoro plants here. They will do outdoor plants as well as indoor tropical plants, which we will get to in just a few. So hopefully you've stuck around this long to just admire some of the outdoor plants. You already know, if I'm gonna go do a plant shopping video, I'm gonna cover all my bases with all of my plants and really show you the outdoor plants. Mind you, I know that some people may not be into outdoor gardening or even succulents or even bonsai or even tropical plants, indoor tropical plants. Some of you guys might be here for the outdoor gardening. I want to just encapsulate all of the different types of plants, so that way we have a more diverse community. I did want to say, as far as the coral bells, they're not going to like sun. It says that they are wanting full sun, so maybe these varieties are. They like to be more in bright indirect light, sometimes shade. I do like the colors. I mean, you can see right over here, look at that, the purple undersides of the leaves, and then you can see that the veining on the leaves as well. It's a really nice variety. And you know how you just have that feeling that a certain plant will not do well being grown indoors? I could say that as far as growing this indoors, a coral bell will not do well growing indoors. There are some plants that you can push the envelope that are not really conducive to growing indoors, and you'll be able to get them to grow indoors. And now whether they'll actually like survive, I don't necessarily know. I feel like this would be a spider mite magnet if I were to take this plant and try to grow them indoors, but that's just my honest opinion. And then you can see right here a highlight. Doesn't this look like legitimate snow? Like, we don't really get a lot of snow out in North Dallas, which is where I'm based at. I'm actually in Prosper right now, but you can see how this is so cool as far as like a living Christmas tree. Obviously, this snow will eventually wash away from the plant. I think it's really an interesting concept. The only concern I would have is whether this plant is going to actually be covered by this stuff right here that looks like snow, and whether it would be able to photosynthesize. So this one is for $24.98, and I can tell that it is a little overwatered because there's no drainage hole. So it looks like a lot of these plants have been watered, but the thing about it is, if it doesn't have a drainage hole, they're going to sit in water, and you already know that is not a good thing for these plants. I'm hoping that somebody will go around and tip over the water, aka myself, for instance, to where you can get rid of some of the water. Any plant that sits in water, unless they are just a water loving plant, will eventually get root rot, and that is the fastest way of sending a plant to plant heaven. You can see this one right here is sitting in water. So I'm just going to go ahead and do my due diligence and my good Samaritan by just making sure that I help the plant somehow. Dwarf Alberta Spruce, $10.98. Now these plants right here, yes, you might be able to grow them temporarily for the holiday season for the next 3 to 4 weeks, potentially as a Christmas tree indoors, but just know that they're going to need a lot of light. And it looks like somebody changed their mind on this ZZ plant right here, $10.98. I do love ZZ plants. In the last video, I was able to find Acosta Farms trending tropical plant of a ZZ plant chameleon, where it had like the, bright new growth that would eventually harden. It's almost like a Philodendron Florida ghost version, but for a ZZ plant. But look at all of these beautiful Christmas tree type plants. This is the season to find them, and they even have these berry looking plants, or these holly. You can see right over here, super cute plant. And, I do like holiday plants. I ended up buying a poinsettia, a variegated one at not Home Depot, Lowe's. And I'm super excited about that. I just have to do a little bit more research on the plants. And again, that's what I was going to say from all of my previous videos. I am just curious about people's plant budget, whether you feel like you've already added too many plants. I can tell you already, I am over budget and I'm over capacity of plants. I cannot stop buying plants. And I think that's the reason why I probably shouldn't be doing daily plant shopping videos, 1 hour long ones, because that gives me more time to look through and look at plants. And it gives me more instances where I may potentially go ahead and do impulse buys. So I do it for the plant foldy community. I do it for you. And all I ask again is, if you made it this far into the video, please hit the like button for this video. It does help my channel out substantially. It is your way of validating that my work is, worth your time. And I really hope that you are enjoying my plant shopping videos. I know a lot of times, or at least the last couple of plant shopping videos, I've kind of talked a lot about just plant insights or my personal thoughts. I utilize these videos really to make it as more like a personal blog where I can talk to you. If you are a person that needs a little bit more company, sometimes I kind of like being able to talk freely about the plants or what's going on with my life personally. So that's what you're going to get from this Grow Folds plant foldy community. But you can see over here, going back to the plants again, we have a lot of succulents and cactus. I am hoping that we will find some really good indoor tropical plants today. It is a late afternoon. I was filming this around 5:30 or 6, somewhere around that. And, you know, the sun sets very quickly. So by the time I get out of this store, it's probably going to look like late evening. But as far as succulents and cactus, you will find Smart Plants as the main provider of succulents and cactus at Home Depot. You know, at Lowe's, you have Oasis plants. At Home Depot, you get Smart Plants. And that one was a string of raindrops. So I really like that. And then you can see we have a bunch of Opuntia right over here, golden barrel cactus, and an assortment of different types of Altman Reserve succulents and cactus. That's kind of more of the premier types of succulents and cactus. And then we have more succulents and cactus here. General care tips for succulents is you don't want to overwater them. So make sure that you let the soil dry out completely. They actually thrive even more so with neglect in terms of watering. But as far as growing a succulent indoors, you're going to have to either provide a grow light or give them a lot of light. Otherwise, they are better suited growing outdoors. Now, here is the Proven Leaf Joy series. So we're going to go search around to see if at least this case has a bunch of plants. If we're going to able to find the, the Doc Block Anthuriums that has been released out in the market. Obviously, we haven't even made it into the indoor tropical greenhouse. These are the ones that are just outside. You can see right here. This is the Green Shields plant, and I actually find this plant super easy to take care of. And what makes it easy to take care of is because it will let you know when it needs water, and it is slightly forgiving whenever you don't water it. So like literally it could be on the verge of going to plant heaven. It kind of behaves like a peace lily, but as soon as you water it, like within an hour, it perks up. So that has been not a hard plant to grow. And then you can see right here, Philodendron Rojo Congo. This one is for $29.98, again by proven winners. That is a beautiful philodendron. It is a common philodendron. I would say it's another philodendron that is definitely overlooked when you start to look at philodendron like this. Like this is a stunner. This is a Philodendron Florida green for $29.98. And yes, it's not the variegated Philodendron Florida beauty, but look at the leaf shape of the leaves. Beautiful plant. It's a pretty fast growing plant, and it's an easy to propagate plant for plant, cuttings. You can root them in water, and I love this plant. I already have one, but here's an example of me wanting to add another one in my plant collection just because it's really beautiful. It looks like they just got this plant restocked, which gives me hope that I can find that Anthurium Doc Block at Home Depot. You know, that has been my mission. I will be going through Home Depots throughout the week to try to find it. It's interesting that a lot of people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area have really been going to Home Depots in the search of finding the Doc Block Anthuriums. I am one of them. And again, especially if you are in the DFW market and you want to know what's getting into our plant, in our plant, community, or just the plant market in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel with the notification bell on, all notifications. So there is an option where it has like personalized notification, but do the all, so that way whenever I upload any type of video, whether it is a live premiere that's scheduled to debut or a shorts video or a community post, you will stay up to date. Now check this out. This is a Philodendron Florida Beauty, but notice the size difference. I'm not going to pay $29.98 for that small size when you can get something as established like this already, another Philodendron Florida Beauty for $29.98. And that's the thing about big box store plant shopping. You want to make sure that you are very selective and picky about the plants that you buy. And here's the reason why. Number one, whenever you see a plant make it into a big box store, for the most part, that plant is going to get restocked. Number two, yes, the plant pricing may be cost effective, but that goes back to my reason number one. You already know that plant is going to get restocked, and you want to be selective of it. And as far as that, so you see that there are two different sizes on the plant. I also say if you're going to go to a big box store and buy plants, I would definitely buy the plant if you feel like that plant has been recently restocked. Like, I really feel like they just rolled this cart out from proven winners, and these just went, these just came by from proven winners. A lot of the plants are at their best health when they recently just make it to the big box store and haven't sat at the big box store for a long time. Now, this is another calathea. This one is more of the fuzzy calathea type plant. I think, for $19.98, that is not a risk I want to add into my plant collection. And I say this because calatheas are really a challenging plant. Some people have given me a little bit of flack about me, gaslighting, or even saying that, or discouraging people from buying calatheas. It's not that I want to, intentionally discourage anybody from buying calatheas. I just want to influence people into really thinking about, what plants such as a calathea that would give you a little bit more of a challenge, and whether you're willing to invest in doing, growing a plant that's going to require just a little bit more of your time and care. This is a Ficus elastica Chloe, so that one I like. That's another rubber tree type plant that has more rounder leaves. And then you can see right over here, quintessential and classic Epipremnum aureum. This one is Summer Nights, I don't know what the plant ID is for Proven Winners, but Proven Winners basically has these unique plant names, even though most of them are already patented or at least have a common name. And this one is a nice plant find, and you may not find this. This is the Freckled Splash Hoya cornosa. That is not the correct plant ID, but I do love the fact that even though it's got the wrong plant ID, this is the cordyline pinstripes. So this one is a more uncommon cordyline plant. You don't really see that in the market, and I'll have to tell you, I wasn't really intending to buy another plant today. Like, I would probably buy a Doc Block Anthurium, if it does make it to the big box store. But this is another plant that, I just mentioned how you have to be selective with the plant and know that it's going to get restocked. This particular one, though, this is the pinstripe cordyline plant. I definitely want to buy it. I know that cordyline plants are challenging to grow, but this is one that I would try to grow indoors. And what I'm going to try to do, and it'll be the first time, is to actually convert a cordyline Hawaiian tea plant like this into semi-hydroponic substrate, and I'm going to specifically put it in lechuza pond. So here's the thing about lechuza pond. I almost feel like lechuza pond is the answer to being able to grow a plant that's a little bit more challenging, to see if it actually will make a difference. Now, plant foldies, and for those that actually have tried to grow a cordyline Hawaiian tea plant indoors, have you been successful? Because I've been told that cordyline Hawaiian tea plants are really a plant that needs to grow outdoors because it is such a spider mite prone plant. Leave in the comments. You already know I love lots of comments, and for those who really have taken the time the last couple of videos to give me comments to read and respond to, thank you so much. That brings me a lot of joy. It really does make this plant journey of me making big box store plant shopping videos daily worthwhile. Now, over here, you can see this is a Philodendron Mayoi. I love this plant, $29.98. And as it matures, the leaves really have a nice shape to it. They just have a really nice shape. And then as far as Monstera deliciosa, $29.98 by Proven Winners. I think that they are winners in a sense that for the most part, they have lots of beautiful green Monstera deliciosas. This is another plant I do feel like is an underrated, overlooked plant these days because everybody is searching for the more variegated Monsteras. I like variegated Monsteras, but the green form is going to work out for you as well. Now, this is for $29.98. This is another Ficus elastica taniki. Now, I'm going to tell you, yes, I do like Proven Winner plants, but if you're going to look for a more cost-effective plant or one that's a little bit more inexpensive, I would recommend buying, rubber tree plants or Ficus elastica at Trader Joe's. You can get something that size for $12.99. So that's the reason why you always want to compare and contrast whenever you're buying plants at a big box store or a local nursery like this right here, Philodendron Michelle, $29.98. This is actually a pretty good specimen, but I remember seeing one from another Home Depot like 3 days ago when I was filming that was a lot larger. So again, you know, the theme of this video today is not only me searching for the Doc Block Anthurium at Home Depot, but also to talk about plant selection at a big box store. I mean, you can see right here, Philodendron Golden Crocodile, love this plant. The serrated philodendrons, this one I think is for $19.98. Beautiful yellow tone about it. You know, I love collecting these yellow or neon colored philodendron or just plants in general. But in order to maintain that coloration, you want to give it quite a bit of bright light. Otherwise, it's going to be more of a greenish tone. Now, here's the thing. It does have some cosmetic damage to these plants. So I'm hoping that we get that, you know, we get more of these philodendrons, or at least these philodendron golden crocodiles, readily available for proven winners as the months come around. Now, it's interesting that they pushed out more indoor tropical plants in the colder months, but we will see if we can find that Doc Block Anthurium. Now, this is my very first time, and I am super excited to find this. This is a Begonia Iron Cross for $19.98. Now, my initial thought was, okay, I haven't found this plant, let me buy it. I am proud to say that I held off from buying this begonia. I probably would have bought it if, you know, bought another, you know, proven winners leaf joy plant if it wasn't a begonia. But this is a Rex type begonia, and I have successfully been able to grow one Rex begonia that I bought from a local nursery, you know, local nursery at a local nursery out in North Dallas called Green Acres. And it's been doing well for me. But this Iron Cross begonia, super cool. It's definitely a plant find. So, you know, I would say that even if I don't find the Doc Block Anthurium this evening, I am, you know, really happy that I was able to find another uncommon plant like the Begonia Iron Cross. You know, that's the thing about proven winners. They are starting to really get into the indoor houseplant, tropical plant, and I'm loving it. I'm living for it. You know, whenever I think of proven winner plants, I think of, you know, all of their outdoor gardening plants, but it's nice that they have finally really gotten invested into providing us with more indoor tropical plants, house plants that we can grow indoors. These are really cost effective. Like you can see right here, if you're a Hoya fan, $5.98. You saw earlier I picked up a Syngonium, and we just have even more plants here. So this rack right here, I haven't seen that Doc Block Anthurium. I really need to try to find it at Home Depot. I feel like this Home Depot, if I'm gonna you know, pick a Home Depot out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, would most likely have it, just because this one has a lot of the new releases. I mean, you can see right here, this is really full of proven winner plants. So again, that proven winners Doc Block Anthurium, that is something that's trending. That is something that I want to actually jump on the bandwagon, simply because I want to be able to steer everybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area the home location, you know, of some of those plants. But we're going to go ahead and spin around here. I'm going to keep showing you more proven winner plants, but I did want to go ahead and show you some smart plants, some more succulent type plants that are readily available at this Home Depot. I do love that this has that Rhodea oyster plant. It's one of my favorite plants because of the pink. I love pink plants, and you know, that one's a pretty easy to care for plant. And then you can see right over here, we've got a bunch of different types of succulents. So I'm just going to pick up a couple and show you what these are. These are for $5.98. You'll see the plant ID flashed in front of you right here. So if you're curious, this one is the Dusty Rose right here. Now, again, with succulents, I have about 4 succulents in my plant collection, and I'm hoping to continue to grow them. Like this one right here, this is super easy. This one is one that is actually an Echeveria, I think, but look at how it's fuzzy. It's not really shaped like an Echeveria, and then you can see that it's got a red maroonish tip on it. I was almost tempted to buy this one again today for $5.98, just because I haven't really ever seen this type of succulent. But you know, if it's one that's been released at a big box store like Home Depot, I know that I'll eventually find it. But honestly, that is the first time I've ever seen that succulent released out in a big box store. So that's really interesting. You know, the winter months are coming though, and that's the thing about adding plants. Here's a little story. I should not be adding plants to my plant collection in the winter because we get a very cold winter out in the North Dallas area. I wouldn't say that I get snow, but a lot of my plants that I do grow outdoors, I try to bring them indoors, or what I call overwinter them. The problem is when I overwinter these plants, they're gonna have a situation where I don't know, where like I'm not going to have any space to grow these plants. Like for instance, if I wanted to buy this variegated plant, and this one's really highly variegated, so if I were going to buy or binge on plants, I would have impulse bought that one particular succulent with the red tips, and then this variegated plant right here, which I often see, but this one's got some really high variegation. I really can't do that. And the reason why I should not be buying plants in the winter and fall season is because I'm not going to have space for it, and that's the reason why I ask anybody watching these videos right now, if you made it this far, leave in the comments if you've actually inundated yourself, or actually overbought plants that you're not going to have space for in the winter months. Leave that in the comments. Again, I'm really trying to encourage a lot more dialogue outside of the live premiere chats, but more so in the comments section. So for those that are new to the channel, we'll see more chatter, and I really want to encourage and get people excited to do so. Leave in the comments again, and if you made it this far into the video, please hit the like button for this video. It definitely helps me out. I don't have any shame in asking you guys for help in terms of just hitting that like button. But anyways, plant foldies, you can see right over here, we do have these on sale for $10.98. So it's 50% off on these Leaf Joy hydroponic, or basically these are plants that are growing in straight water. But, for me, I feel like, as far as like say this pothos right here, golden pothos for $5.98. I like the hydroponic look. I have a Philodendron Birkin that I bought, and it's doing very well for me. But as far as some of the smaller hydroponic or Leaf Joy bowl, H2 bowls, I feel like they're just a little bit pricey. Now, $10.98 is not bad because it is a cute setup. But as far as your value, I would rather get these ones right here. That's a spider plant for $5.98. But these plants now, if it was half off, I think these are $29.98. I would buy it for $15. I would buy a gorgeous Monstera deliciosa. I think that is a very stylish looking plant. And then we have right here, I believe, a philodendron Macaulay's finale, and then we also have another type of calathea here. I tried to grow plants hydroponically just earlier this year, but converting them in straight water, it is a little bit more challenging, because I feel like unless you stay on top of the watering and changing the water out with nutrients, it actually is a little bit tougher than just growing them in semi-hydro. Semi-hydro, at least, growing a plant in like lechuza pond or leca, it just allows you to have more flexibility in terms of just the watering. And that, to me, that's really important. I feel like you should be able to grow these plants with little to no care. And like for instance, the Aglaonema Silver Bay, $14.97 by Vigoro Plants. Beautiful plant as well. And again, that is another plant you must add to your plant collection. I repeat, if you are a plant foldy or somebody that is getting into houseplants, get yourself an Aglaonema. Now, this one is a Summer Nights Pothos, which is basically an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. This one right here is in a Leaf Joy bowl with just straight water, but I wouldn't pay $19.98 for basically a pothos propagation. That's not anything against, proven winners. I love their plants, but whenever we talk about cost-effective plant pricing, I just think it's a little much, even though it is now on sale for $10.98. Now, this one right here is another example of a syngonium. I think this might be, the plant ID kind of falls away from me, but that one is only for $5.98. It's one of the more uncommon ones, and you can see right here, this one is for $5.98 as well. I think that these starters of 4-inch plants from Leaf Joy, proven winners, I think that they're the most cost effective, and they have some really nice plants, because this one is a Syngonium Milk Confetti, and I just remember when the Syngonium was quite expensive a couple years back, and now you can find it at a big box store. And that goes to show that Whenever a plant is actually making it to a big box store like Home Depot, they become a little bit more cost effective. And that's the reason why I understand people going out to Home Depots, like going to multiple Home Depots in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in the search for the Anthurium Doc Block. So I know that they've shown up in the West Coast and then I believe the East Coast. So proven winner plants like this one right here. We're gonna just see as I walk into this Home Depot. You can see that this Home Depot is super full. I would just think that there would be a Doc Block Anthurium somewhere here. Because look at how full this is. And I really love the fact that they have a separate section specifically for the indoor tropical plants. It looks like they just got restocked. So this gives me a little bit of hope that we will be able to find the Doc Block Anthuriums this evening. If not, you got to stay tuned this whole week because on Tuesday, I'm probably going to go to 3 or 4 or 5 Home Depots out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to see if I can find it. You know, I did talk to an employee and they did mention that they are getting plants almost every single day. So we're going to see. And I have a couple of ideas of what Home Depots to hit up because I would say there's at least 4 that I know that are really stocked well and actually have a good amount. So that's something I'm going to be doing on Tuesday on my day off, is literally going all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area and just going to Home Depots in the search for a Doc Block Anthurium. That's not to say that tonight, and you have to stay until the very end of this video to find out on whether I found the Doc Block Anthuriums at Home Depot. You'll have to check that out. But you can see here, they've got different types of calathea. And again, you know, calatheas, they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. They're actually pet friendly, but we cannot grow them, or at least I cannot grow them long term. I would suggest, rather than getting a calathea, to buy a pothos plant for $14.98. Look at how large that is. And that is a Marble Queen pothos. Beautiful plant as well. Easy to care for plant. It's a plant that I would recommend anybody to grow, whether you're a seasoned plant collector, plant lover. I think that is a plant you should add to your collection. And even the Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess, that's another plant that I would recommend as well. And I feel like with this new restock from Home Depot, you can see that they just got these carts delivered not too long ago. And we do have some Aglaonema. This is an Aglaonema Nicole. I love the border on the leaf right there. And then just the middle part has that really nice silver foliage. And then we also have some more large Aglaonema. These, I believe, are for $29.98 or something of that nature. And I do think, and I have been looking at this Aglaonema for a while. This is the Aglaonema White Rain, also known as the Aglaonema Golden Bay. I'm thinking I'm going to probably purchase that today if I am not able to find the Anthurium Doc Block, or the Doc Block Anthurium that supposedly is hitting a lot of the Home Depot. So if that is the case, I do have this in my budget. I would want to go ahead and purchase this. And things to look for when you're buying Aglaonema is you notice how it has several several plants in the actual pot, and the actual trunk or the stems, or there's multi stems to where it is a very healthy looking plant. I'm also looking for any cosmetic to the leaves, like that one, like this particular one right here has some leaves that are a little bit damaged. One is bent. And you know, when you have a plant restock, you should always have the options where you're gonna buy the most perfect looking plant if possible. And above right there, we've got some more cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. It looks like they've gotten a new shipment in. And based on what the Home Depot employees have told me, they've been getting shipments of new plants in daily. So if for some reason the Doc Block Anthurium does not make it to this Home Depot, I will check back later this week. I will be on a hunt to look for that particular Anthurium. This one right here is for $14.98, and you can see that we have another Aglaonema Silver Bay. Really love the look of this Aglaonema Silver Bay. Beautiful plant. It's a plant that I would recommend. It's a plant that I have, and it is a plant that every plant foldie, any viewer that is watching my plant videos, should put in their plant collection because they're so easy to take care of. But as you can see right here, we've got lots of restocks, and I really like seeing a full Big box store like Home Depot have a restock, and you can see here they have some pretty good looking Vigoro hanging baskets. So these are for $19.98. This is a Marble Queen pothos, and any pothos at this point I will take multiples of. I love pothos, and it's been rekindled in the sense that before I was all about pothos. I was literally taking plant cuttings of pothos and propagating like 50 to 60 cuttings every 2 to 3 weeks, and then I kind of stopped doing that. I kind of fell out of love of pothos plants, but then I am on this whole stretch about going back to the basics when it comes to houseplants, like finding plants that have basic care needs, finding plants that are more cost effective. And I would even just say $19.98. You can see we've got some pothos plants here. So this is a low variegated golden pothos. I would even say that looks more like a jade pothos at that point. But when it comes to these hanging basket fixtures, you can see that there's always going to be one from Vigoro Plants. And then obviously it is the second week of November. Next week is going to be, I believe, Thanksgiving and Black Friday. But we already have the poinsettas. So poinsettas are a tropical plant, and just like the crotons that we saw in October, we see that big box stores will carry a bunch of poinsettas. I do find them beautiful. Some people only just grow them for a seasonal plant, and I love this container. So you've got this poinsettia decoration here for $22.98. So we've got pink poinsettas, we've got a red one in the middle, and then we have a bunch of polka dot plants, dark polka dot plants. So what a really nice color combination. This actual plant container really looks nice. And then you can see we've also got some more white poinsettas that look more like flowers. Now, what's interesting about the poinsettia is the red parts or the colorful parts are not necessarily the blooms. The blooms are actually the small yellow flowers. The actual coloration is also just the leaves. It just tends to do that when it is within that season. So as far as poinsettias, they do need quite a bit of light. I do want to try to grow one of my variegated poinsettias that I found at Lowe's to see if I can grow it long term. And I ask all of our plant foldies, if you've actually grown poinsettias outside of the Christmas holiday season, a lot of these plants are only popular for a good 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, and then a lot of them end up either going to plant heaven or they get composted, one or the other. But it's interesting how much production goes into place when it comes to growing poinsettias. And I mean, for me, let me know in the comment section if you think I am going to be able to find the Doc Block Anthurium that is released by Proven Winners Doc Block Anthurium. I'm hoping I can, because this actual Home Depot is super full. It looks like they've got a lot of plants. So all the signs are pointing that there is a high potential of finding the Anthurium Doc Block. Leave in the comments what you think at this point and what you think about this Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. Love the look of the neon pothos. Absolute stunner right there. $19.98. And if I am actually going to ask me like what my favorite pothos plant is, I think at the very moment it has to be the neon pothos. It's just bright, it's just easy, and I just love it. And then right over here, you can see that this is a hanging basket, Epipremnum aureum golden pothos, but notice how it's already trailing. So that's the thing about going plant shopping. You've really got to see like the growth, whether there's a lot of growth on the plant, because for the most part, all of these plants are not, priced by how much as how many, leaves are there. It's really just priced by the size of the planter. Sometimes you'll get a better value when it comes to a hanging basket, especially if you see it trailing, especially if you see that there's more foliage. I mean, a prime example would be that Proven Winners, philodendron, was it a philodendron Florida green, where one was like super established and another one wasn't, but it was still being sold for $29.98. That's why you've got to be really picky about your house plants. Like you can see that there's a bent leaf for that Aglaonema Silver Bay. So if I'm going to buy me an Aglaonema Silver Bay or one of those large Aglaonemas, I would really inspect the leaves and make sure that there's no cosmetic damage. Same thing with this $7.98. This one is a highly variegated Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. Like that as well. And with Vigoro plants, they are the prime source of plants for indoor tropical plants at Home Depot. I do appreciate it because I do find that like Vigoro plants are cost effective. And you can see right here now we have some more Proven Winner Leaf Joy H2O bowls on sale for 50% off. They are only $10, and that's a good price for that small amount. And you can see there are more Proven Winner plants, so I'm hoping that I will run into an Anthurium Doc Block or Doc Block Anthurium, because some of my most unexpected plant finds actually happen when I'm not expecting it. So, I have a feeling that if I'm expecting it to show up at this Home Depot, it's probably not going to appear for me. I am confident that Dallas-Fort Worth area, the Dallas community, is going to end up getting those Doc Block Anthuriums. And knowing the plant community in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it is a very saturated, very strong plant community. So I just wanted to make sure that we have quite a bit of those plants. But as you can see right over here, we have some Ficus elastica. This is a really nice plant as well, and it's one of those plants that I feel like a lot of people will grow as an indoor plant, and you can see it was overwatered. So I am trying to do due diligence by making sure that I am getting rid of the water, because there's not a drainage hole for those plants. They're in a catch pot. And you can see right here, we've got a Ficus elastica burgundy, beautiful plant as well. But the one thing I will say about this particular Home Depot is they definitely water. And some, big boxers, they don't water their plants. But this one right here, look at that. Wow. Oh my gosh. It's drowning, and Aglaonemas hate to be sitting in water like that. So let me go ahead and try to save these Aglaonema, red siams. That's one of my favorite plants. It's a basic Aglaonema. This one is for $19.98, but we've got to save the Aglaonema. I've got to go ahead and pour all the water out, all the water. What do you guys think, plant foldies? Would you do the same, or am I just that silly person that goes into big box stores and, hopes for the best for the plants? Like this one right here is an Aglaonema anyamaniae, $19.98. So it is still the same price as, say, a Costa Farms trending tropical Aglaonema anyamaniae, but it's in bloom. So with the Aglaonemas that are in bloom, you want to cut the blooms off because it will stun the growth of the plant. And you can see right there, look at that water. It is literally sitting in water. We've got to save these plants. We've got to make sure to get rid of that extra water, because a lot of these plants are going to end up getting root rot. And I can tell that these plants were just recently unloaded and restocked, and that's a plus. But at the same time, part of me wants to just buy these Aglaonema like this one for $19.98 just to save it. But then again, I've already got multiples of this particular Aglaonema. I love pink plants. I mean, leave it in the comments if you like pink plants as well. And also, if you made it this far into the video, that's super awesome. Please make sure you are hitting the like button for this plant shopping video. I would really appreciate it. And just know, if for some reason I don't find the Doc Block Anthurium today at this Home Depot, I am going to several Home Depots on Tuesday, a total of maybe 3, to see if I can find it. I'm just hoping that it's already made it to Texas, the Anthurium Doc Blocks. That would be awesome. Now, I heard that they were retailing for $95. So depending on what that quality looks like, that might either be a want or a need. So the difference between a need plant is you need it that very day. A want plant becomes what you call a wish list plant, where you can save your money, or you can actually budget it out to where you can buy that plant at a later date. So we're going to see that even today, if I'm able to find that Doc Block Anthurium. But as you can see right here, I'm just looking at a bunch of Vigoro plants. These ones are for $7.98. This one is in a ceramic planter for the black rabbit's foot fern. I love the look of that. And then you see we have a bunch of Sansevieria, Trifasciatas, and a bunch of terracotta planters. That's one of my favorite planters to use for my plants, even though it's not always the best kind of planter for somebody who I would say myself is an underwaterer, somebody that doesn't water their plants, because terracotta planters actually suck the moisture a little bit faster, so your soil doesn't stay as wet as compared to a plastic grower pot like this. But $7.98, that's not bad for a snake plant. With snake plants, they are marketed as an easy to care for indoor house plant, but for me, there's not really an allure for me to want to buy them, just because they don't really grow as quickly, and their care is super simple, as in like they do better with neglect. I would say a snake plant is probably a better alternative for somebody who's got a very busy lifestyle. So if you don't have time to water plants, to curate your plants, to pamper and manicure your plants by wiping down the leaves and X, Y, and Z, I would say Sansevieria is a good choice. And also, this is a beautiful golden pothos. So I really like the fact that this golden pothos has a really nice looking just look about it. And that one is actually on sale as well. Really like the look of that. And then we also have more plants right over here. And the pothos plants are only for $9.88. So they were actually on sale. I'm almost tempted to purchase it, but like this one right here is not a good looking neon pothos plant. So leave in the comments though if you would actually buy a pothos plant for $9.88. I might even buy this one right here if it's on sale for $9.98. That is a 6-inch planter of Marble Queen pothos. Again, I love this, as well, but it's a gorgeous plant. It's a plant that I need, but I don't know if I really need it today. So we'll see. And then we have a bunch of Aglaonema silver bays. Those are for $14.98, but I'm just going to pan over here. I mean, this is a really full Home Depot, so I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't find the Doc Block Anthuriums. Everybody wants to find that Doc Block Anthurium. And that is another example of how people will follow trends. I am a little bit biased when it comes to that because I also want to follow that trend. At least for me to find that Anthurium Doc Block or a Doc Block Anthurium, I think it's just more of a success thing for me to plant hunt, to be able to show that it is in the market. So I'm hoping that all of our plant foldies, the Dallas-Fort Worth community, will continue to watch my videos this week because I am legit hunting for that Anthurium. I have lucked out on a lot of these plants that have been released, like, the Monstera constellations, a lot of these plants that have started to make it into the big box stores. And I love that because then it becomes more readily available for us. Now, I did want to show you this. So this one is for $18.98, and I almost bought this because it is a azalea. But if you look at the initial shape, this would be a really good candidate to potentially make into an azalea bonsai. Like, it's already got a pretty nice trunk. I would just have to chop the lower limbs and then style it. But the thing is, I haven't had the best luck growing azaleas in the ground. So growing them in a shallow container, long term, I'm not 100% sure. And I really don't have that dispensable income right now. I mean, I have really stretched myself short in terms of my plant budgeting. In the last video, I talked about ways to save money on, plants. Number one, you want to make sure that you have a specific plant that you're looking for to buy. Do your research. Number two, definitely have a set plant budget for yourself so you prevent yourself from doing impulse buys. And then number three, if there's another alternative to acquire a plant besides going to a big box store, maybe through a plant trade, maybe trading cuttings, that's another alternative. But people always ask me money saving ways to save money on plants. That's some of my my tips for you. I need to listen to my tips. It's always easy to give advice, but actually following one's own advice is always a challenge. At least for me it is. I don't mind shelling out that advice, but for me, I think it's more effective when I actually follow my own advice. But as you can see right here, we are literally in a jungle, and honestly, this is one of the best Home Depots out in the North Dallas area. I mean, you can see here, this is a huge Philodendron Rojo Congo for, I believe, $26.98. It is a plant that people will find basic, but I mean, look at how pretty it is. It's got a natural shine to it. It's got nice stems. The new leaves unfurl to be a little bit more of a tan color. And then we have a proven winners, Philodendron squamiferum. It's not a Philodendron Florida green. Sometimes people mistaken that, but the petioles are fuzzy. This one is for $29.98. And that's the thing about these plants right here. Proven winners. You've got to get that Doc Block Anthurium to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We are waiting for it. I am searching for it. As you can see right here, this is another proven winners plant. This one is a Amstel King Ficus. I like that it's got narrow leaves. The thing about ficus, again, is you have to make sure that you're providing it with quite a bit of light for it to really thrive. I actually ended up returning one of my ficus plants back to Home Depot just because I really didn't think I could keep it alive long term. And I did want to show you this. This is a new alocasia. This is an alocasia blackout, and I love the black stems. I also love how the leaf shape is. You can see that there is a new leaf shape right there. It looks like it's overwatered, but look at how pretty that alocasia is. I just love the black stems. Now, I ended up getting a variegated black stem alocasia, so it looks similar to this when I was at the Texas Aroid Show. And I'll tell you, next year, I am going to have a jam-pack schedule in terms of just going to many plant shows. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy meeting people at these plant shows. So stay tuned for 2025. I'm super excited for that. And I did want to say, those that are watching my video now, those that continue to watch my videos in the future, and those who have watched my videos in the past, thank you again. It is a fun journey for me to just go into a big box store, pan around and show you some plants and talk about it. It is very therapeutic for me. It's a lot of fun for me, and I like to connect more people that love plants. Like this right here, I'm almost tempted to buy as well. This is for $29.98, but look at how pretty this Aglaonema Nicole is. Can you imagine using that leaf shine to make it super shiny? And you know, a large plant like this, $29.98 for an Aglaonema is a actual steal. That is such a good price, and that's the reason why a lot of big box stores tend to have a very good reputation when it comes to being more cost effective. And then you can see here, this is another Aglaonema Golden Bay, also known as Aglaonema White Rain. This one is nice, but you can see that there is some damage on the leaves. And for me, if I'm going to buy one today, if I'm not able to find the Doc Block Anthurium at this Home Depot, I will eventually buy this one, just because number one, if it's not $95, I am going to save a little bit of money. And then number two, I have been eyeing these Aglaonema, these larger ones, for a while. For a while, I would consider them more of a want and not necessarily a need. I guess today I just need to buy a plant. Is that bad for me to tell y'all that, like, I am literally addicted to just plant shopping, and I have to find a way to kind of calm down and not spend money? A couple more updates. I am excited that I will be getting my Aglaonema import by Thursday this week from one of my Indonesian sellers. If you've never imported plants from overseas, things I would recommend is, number one, make sure that you find a reputable seller. There's a lot of scams that happen with overseas sellers. Number two, if you're going to connect with somebody to import plants, make sure they're able to provide pictures of the plants, videos of the plants, as well as being readily available through Messenger or something of that nature if you have any questions. All of the importers that I've got from Green Spaces ID, Art Garden Flowers, and some of my other importers, we have really good open communication. So stay tuned for that unboxing video. But going back to the plant, like this one is one of my favorite cordyline plants. That is a cordyline harlequin, also known as a cordyline kiwi. It's just got a lot of beautiful plant, colors going on. And, that is a plant. If we could only grow those long-term indoor, I would be all about it. But that plant really needs to be outdoors. Otherwise, they're a little bit more susceptible to spider mites. And speaking of spider mite magnets, you can see that we've got a lot of large Alocasia regal shields. This one is for $29.98, and it's a beautiful one as well, but it is one that, number one, I don't have the space for it. Now, I know that one of my Plant Foldy viewers, Gaz, says that she keeps these Alocasia regal shields indoors. I mean, kudos to you, because this is a large plant, and then it's another plant that I just feel like I wouldn't be able to grow well indoors. I have been able to grow Alocasias a little bit better by using a semi-hydro substrate called Lechuza Pon and mixtures of leca. But overall, I mean, Alocasias for me are not necessarily plants I would recommend for the novice plant lover. Somebody that has a little bit more time definitely will do a little bit more success, because then you're able to inspect the leaves if they have spider mites. You're able to water them a little bit more consistently. You just have more time to be able to take care of your plants. Somebody mentioned that if you couldn't, take care of an animal as a pet by by being able to provide the basic needs, then you don't need to bring the animal. I would also say the same thing about plants. If you cannot provide the basic care needs, such as light, water, and tender love and care, then you don't need to add plants. Like, I want to make sure that I'm encouraging people to grow plants, but at the same time, plants have requirements. They have needs, just like human beings. The only thing is they can't tell you verbally when they need something. Now, that spathiphyllum, that large one right there, or peace lily, it'll tell you when it's thirsty. All the leaves will drop and you need to water it. But I don't know. I have not seen the Doc Block Anthurium. I mean, maybe it's hidden somewhere right over here. You can see that there are a lot of large house plants, though. Like, this is a Ficus lyrata or fiddle fig leaf tree, and then we have a bunch of snake plants. And as far as an easy to care plant, ZZ plants, we got the large varieties. And if you want one for instant gratification in terms of the sizing to put in a lower light setting, I would just go ahead and buy the CZ plant at Home Depot. You know, Home Depot has these large plants and they're priced accordingly, $24.98. And then we have a bunch of these hanging baskets. So I'm just going to keep walking around and showing you the plants. Hopefully we run into the Doc Block Anthurium. You can see we've got a lot of beautiful Ficus lyrata over here, fiddle fig leaf tree, just many large foliage plants. I feel like I am in a jungle the way this Home Depot is super full. I mean, it is one of the best Home Depots out here. I am a little concerned about some of the overwatering that happens, so hopefully somebody will like tip these plants and make sure to get rid of the excess water. I mean, you can see over here we do have these large alocasia, but I just wouldn't recommend large alocasia in an indoor space unless you really have the time and humidity to be able to maintain it, because they are spider mite plants. But this one right here, I think it's for $59.98, is a huge cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. Love the leaves, love the pink foliage, and it's just stunning. I love it so much, and I love the fact that they have moving air here. They have a fan that just kind of fans the plants around. There are some advantages on just keeping that air circulation going for the plants. It is a little bit more healthy, but when you have plants that might have like plant pests like mealy bugs or spider mites, it could spread it throughout the plants. So whenever you're going big box store plant shopping, make sure you take your plant home, but spray it down with insecticidal soap, neem oil, and make sure to kind of quarantine it away from your plants for at least 2 weeks if it's possible. I'm not necessarily one to always quarantine my plants. I just give them a really good soak of neem oil, the bottoms of the leaves, the tops of the leaves, the stems in between the nodes, the top of the soil, the bottom of the drainage holes, the sides of the pot, just to get rid of any potential pests or eggs. And I haven't had a lot of pest outbreaks. I did have a little bit of a thrips outbreak with some of my plants. Unfortunately, once thrips hits a plant, it's very challenging to get them back. So that means you have to just be a little bit more diligent. And whenever people ask me about what causes plant pests, I would say the biggest way to get plant pests is when you're having too many plants and you're not able to provide them the care needs that they need. But other than that, I just think basic spraying of your plants, it is natural for them to get plant pests. That's part of growing plants, especially when you are growing them indoors where they don't have any natural predators. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, it is a lot darker, and you can see that I still haven't found the Doc Block Anthurium. And the crazy thing is, whenever I go plant shopping, sometimes it's at the very end where I find that particular plant I'm looking for. So I'm just walking around and showing you these plants. If you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are hitting the like button, as well as leaving comments about what plants you might personally buy from Home Depot, what you think about this Home Depot, and just how gorgeous it is. I really like the look of it, and it is one of those plants that I think it's just gorgeous. And then you can see over here, we've got some more golden pothos. looking around, and even though this place is super full, I don't think I'm going to be able to find a Doc Block Anthurium at this location, which is a little bit disappointing, but I'm probably going to walk over to the self-checkout area. Sometimes they have some plants here, but you know, things to admire though. Look at these variegated ginger plants. Really love the look of that as well. Unfortunately, they don't do very well indoors, at least in my care. They tend to like more humid environments outdoors, but what a gorgeous plant. It's a plant that definitely can grow in specific grow zones year round. I know even in Houston, Texas, which is more humid, people are able to grow this as like outdoor plants in their landscape. So I'm a little bit jealous of that. And you can see over here we do have some cordyline Hawaiian tea plants, but I don't think that there is any proven winner Doc Block Anthuriums. We're going to just check one more area. If that's the case, I mean, I'm okay with that. You know, that's what makes big box store plant shopping videos fun for me. Sometimes it's all about finding that particular plant, and it's also just taking you alongside with me. So I am in the self-checkout area. We never know if I'm going to find the Doc Block at the very end. So make sure you're watching this video at the very end. You will probably be surprised about what I might run into. But you can see here, $4.98. We've got some poinsettas. Love the poinsettas. I ended up getting mine for the holiday season just because I want to try to grow it as a long-term plant. So we're going to see what that looks like. You can see this one is 3 for $12. And let me know what color poinsettas you like. I do like the pink variegated ones. Leave that in the comments and let me know your thoughts about these poinsettas. See right here, we do have the cactus with the little eyes. It's kind of strange. And then we have, people have been telling me that these are not Christmas cactus, but really more so Thanksgiving cactus. $12.48. I guess they would be more so the Thanksgiving cactus because they are about to bloom around the time Thanksgiving hits, which would be next week. You know, things I have to be thankful for this year as I think about Thanksgiving coming up next year. You know, this year is definitely my health. You know, I really struggled with a lot of anxiety last year, you know, just to be fully transparent. But then finding an outlet like this where I can reconnect with the plants that I love and also to build a positive community on YouTube is really exciting. So I'm really thankful for that. I'm definitely thankful for my health, and I'm definitely thankful for how close-knit my family is. And then also just to be able to spend time with my grandmother. You know, a lot of these plants that I grow, a lot of the passion and interest that I love for plants really stems from my grandmother really exposing me to plant care at an early age. And, you know, when you think about the person that got you into plants, I always wonder everybody's story, whether it's your grandmother, a family member, or did you organically just like plants? For me, I wish I could just take the credit to say that I have been able to just get into plants because I like them, but it's really that exposure through my grandmother. And, you know, when you think about plants, I know that I have been going around Home Depot today looking for that Doc Block Anthurium, but for me, it's not always about that rare plant. It's always about the plant that you can find that will bring you joy. So if you like this kalanchoe, this blooming one, for instance, with all of the orange galore, then buy it. Buy the plant that's going to bring you joy. Just make sure you have a little bit of research and idea about what the plant's care tips are. I went to Texas Aeroid Show and they had some speakers, and one speaker said, if you ever have questions about the plant's care, Google search it online and try to find it in its natural environment. The environment itself will kind of tell you what you need, whether it's going to be higher humidity levels, whether it is an understory type plant where it's going to need more shade. That's really a good way to have a basis of these plants, because you got to think every plant that I've picked up today was sourced out somewhere outdoors, somewhere on the other side of the world, or somewhere in the world. So I just wanted to put that out there and just give you some more plant insights. I do feel like the Doc Block Anthurium may show up, but I don't know if it is. Either way, I still enjoyed being able to get off of work, very busy, today, and just be able to, walk around and show you some gorgeous plants. And I did also want to show you some of the Christmas trees here. I will definitely try to get you some Christmas Christmas tree pricing, just because I know some of the viewers were curious to see how much they cost. And then I think I'm gonna go back and pick out that Aglaonema to purchase, because that is one of the plants that I did want to buy eventually. And you can see, you know, lots of really nice looking Christmas trees. I don't have a Christmas tree. I don't think I'm going to intend putting a Christmas tree up this year either. So we're going to go walk back inside and just do one more walkthrough, and then I'm going to pick the Aglaonema Golden Bay. It doesn't look like we will find the Doc Block Anthurium, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't wait till the very end to stop watching this. There might be a surprise at the end, so definitely check that out. Who knows? There might be even a face reveal. I always tease about it, but one day it's going to happen. It may happen on our podcast called The Cultivation Corner. So make sure that you are subscribed to the Cultivation Corner YouTube, as well as following the Cultivation Corner on Instagram. That is going to be with Janae Simone and Steven at I Lift Plants. I hope everybody's had a fun time just walking around with me to try to find the Doc Block Anthurium by proven winners. Unfortunately, it's not there, but I did manage to pick up a beautiful Aglaonema Golden Bay, or what you call the White Rain, as well as a Cordyline Pinstripes. If you liked tonight's video, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video. It definitely helps me out. It does push my content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And as always, you know, as far as following me, make sure you do hit the subscribe button with all the notification bell on. I definitely want to find that video for you where I can find the Doc Block Anthurium. This is Richie at Grow Folds. I hope you have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow.